Ferrari has found their feet again. They are leading the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors Championships, and all of their rivals are having serious problems. But even for fans of different teams, this is a welcome change. So why is it good for the sport that Ferrari is winning again? And what is Ferrari's philosophy that is helping them to win? Stay tuned to find out. Drivers. It's not enough to build great cars. You also need to have the best drivers. That's why Ferrari has employed some of the greatest drivers of all time. Pick any list of the top 10 drivers in the history, and chances are the most of them were Ferrari drivers at some point. Austrian hotshot Niki Lauda joined the teams in 1974 and won 2 titles there, and he would have won a third if it weren't for his gruesome accidents at the German Grand Prix in 1976. Still, fans of his remember him donning the red overall and signature red cap. But most famously, Michael Schumacher was a Ferrari man. He won his first 2 championships with Benetton before making the switch to Scuderia. After the time, Ferrari had lost their title as the most successful teams and was scrambling to rebuild for $25 million. Ferrari got a makeover, adding the clinical German mastermind Schumacher, who also brought with him the technical mind of the Ross Brawn. Together with the John Todt and Rory Bryan, they became a dream team that ushered in Ferrari's most dominant period in the sport. Between 1998 and 2004, it was great to be a Ferrari fan. In 2000, Schumacher blew the competitions out of the water. In 2 seasons, he almost doubled the point of the nearest rival. To this day, the Tifosi are thankful for the impact that Schumacher made on the team. In 2018, at pre-season testing, fans revealed a 30-meter-long sign that read "Michael Forever History." You can't separate the history of Formula 1 from the history of Ferrari. They are the only team to compete in every season since the first World Drivers' Champions in 1950, and they have been around even before that. The company was created by Enzo Ferrari while he was working with the Alfa Romeo. Back then, Alfa Romeo was an established car brand and a young Enzo Ferrari was just a driver. But he had also created Scuderia Ferrari, which started as the racing branch of Alfa Romeo. Eventually, they went their separate ways of Enzo gained full control of Scuderia. It wasn't long before he produced the very first Ferrari branded car in 1947, which went on to win a Grand Prix. The team lost the first 2 World Championship seasons in 1950 and 1951 to their big brother Alfa Romeo, but in the following year, Ferrari made their mark. Since then, nothing has stopped them. Ferrari is by far the most successful team in F1 history. They now have a total of 31 titles, 16 Constructors Championships and 15 Drivers' Championships. The closest teams to them has less than half of the number. So, if you want to talk about success, you have to talk about Ferrari. All of that history comes with its perks. Formula 1 dishes out $35 million to the teams each year as a legacy bonus, and this is a reduced number. Before 2018, they were getting $100 million. I wish I got extra money for being older. Team building. The loyalty in Ferrari doesn't just cover the fan. The team that works in the factory and on the track is also incredibly loyal. Current team boss Mattia Binotto is not just a manager, he is a Ferrari man. He was an engineer on the team during the Schumacher's era and has been there ever since. He was there even before then. He joined the team in 1995. In 2015, he was appointed as the head of the engine development. The next year, he became chief technical officer, and by 2019, he was the team principal. He has shown that Ferrari rewards loyalty and that they trust their people more than anyone. Binotto spent more than 25 years on the teams and still has a deep passion. Binotto explains it best himself. He described the teams as a unique family. He tells the teams that it is more important to be Ferrari than winning, and that is the way he has approached his drivers too. It was just announced that Ferrari extended Carlos Sainz's contract until 2024, and Binotto said that this was important for stability and continuity. That's the same amount of the time as his superstar teammate Charles Leclerc, so they are guaranteed to be partners through the highs and lows. This kind of treatments that Formula 1 fans want to see. When teams and drivers are committed to each other, there is no stopping them. Lewis Hamilton's partnership with the Mercedes has been so successful because they trust each other. The same was true for Michael Schumacher at Ferrari, but it's becoming more and more difficult to find that trust, stability and loyalty in Formula 1. Loyalty. With all that history, the fans of the Ferrari have become extra strong. They are referred to as the Tifosi and follow the team everywhere they go. At the home race in Italy, there is a sea of red filling the grandstand. One fan said that It was like a religion and something that Italians are introduced to when they are children. After Charles Leclerc won the race in 2019, thousands of fans cheered Forza Ferrari and swamped the podium. It was their first time winning there in 9 years, and boy did they celebrate. The party continued onto the street, and when Charles returned to Monaco, Prince Albert threw him a homecoming party. They knew how important it was for a Ferrari driver to win in Monza. The Italian peoples have a special place for Ferrari. Even the Pope owned a Ferrari, for God's sake. And it's not just in Italy that there are supporters. The team boasts biggest fan base in F1. They have over 400 million fans and are always listed as one of the most popular teams. As former driver Sebastian Vettel has said, everybody is a Ferrari fan. Even if you are not a Ferrari fan, you are a Ferrari fan. What he means is that everybody respects the teams and likes to see them do well. Even though Lewis Hamilton only came third at the Bahrain Grand Prix this year, he said that he was happy to see Ferrari sign and be back up there. How valuable is Ferrari's brand for Formula 1? And what is the most important things for Binotto's team right now? Don't go anywhere, because all of that is coming right up. A sea of money. Ferrari is surrounded by new faces in the sport. Some are familiar, old forged, like Mercedes, but many seems to pop up out of nowhere without any history. When Force India became Racing Points and was bought by billionaire Lawrence Stroll, it was more like an investment than a racing team. He had invested in his son's Lance's future and wanted to make the most of it, bringing Aston Martin into the teams this year too. Then, the American team Haas only came into the sport a few years before that in 2016, and Red Bulls got started in 2005 when hundreds of millions of dollars were invested in the owner's passion project. All these teams have become respectable and worthy Formula 1 teams, but they don't have the same kind of history as Ferrari or Alfa Romeo, who was building racing cars before the championships even got started. Parts of the reasons that Ferrari has managed to stay around for so long is its marketing. The value of its branding is the envy of any company. A study found that it was one of the most valuable brands in the world, ranking higher than Coca-Cola or McDonald's. So if you are stuck somewhere and don't speak a language, try talking about Ferrari. Winning ways. Ferrari has finally found their groove again. The start of the season has been flawless. Charles Leclerc has looked in control in every single race. Leclerc has cemented his positions as the number one man through race wins, pole positions and fastest laps. He is already building up a commanding lead in the championships and is the favorite to win the title this year. Ferrari has adopted the best of the 2022 change in regulation. The start of the season features some radically different designs from each team, but it's the Scuderia that have put it all together the best. It looks like they have built the strongest power unit this year and have finally ended Mercedes' dominance. It's been a tough few years for Ferrari fans. They have been second or third best to Mercedes for the last 8 years. In 2020, they had one of their lowest points in the history when they finished 6th in the Constructors Championship. And last year, team boss Mattia Binotto admitted that they had given up on developing that year's cars to focus on this year. His drivers were frustrated at the times as they struggled to get any result from the car, but they are thanking the boss now. This year's Ferrari is flying up ahead and in some races a full second faster than Mercedes. But there is still a long way to go. An F1 season is more like a marathon than a sprint, and constant development for the car is needed to stay ahead of the competition. Let us know in the comment below. Thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next time.